Hello, hello, hello. I've got a different camera angle. It's a bit, you can see all my mess. Let's bring that a bit closer. Still see all my mess. But we have got the new collection from John Next Door to show you today. So this is the first Christmas launch. Set of 7 different die sets. Called the Leaping Stag collection. They are available both individually or for the whole set. They are a very limited amount. So if you are interested, do get quick. And I'm just going to take you through them, and then I'm going to show you a fancy fold, as we haven't done a fancy fold for a while. So we've first of all got this one, which is called the Leaping Stag Square. 5 dies in this set, giving you the square, obviously, and then you've got the separate stag's head in the centre there. That was a really popular design way back of a stag slightly different to that one. So it's nice to see that one come back as well. And yeah, that's called the Leaping Stag Square. So you can see that in all its glory. 5 dies in that one. We've got 2 lots of baubles. So this one is called Sam's Baubles, a set of 3 with your background and then your 3 centerpieces inserts, going along the same theme here with the Leaping Stag, of course. And then you've got the little, oh, I keep forgetting what we call that bit, you know, that bit. Bevel, was it? Can't remember. So yeah, wait a minute. A very hot Minorca. Oh, blimey. You can keep a very hot Minorca, but Minorca sounds lovely, but not a very hot one. So that's your Christmas Sam's Baubles there. Then we've got the stitched poinsettias, all with one plate again. So that's nice to cut out everything there with that little stitched border to it. So you can see in the picture there, oh, if I bring it up, lots of details in that one. Then you've got the stag band, the Leaping Stag band. It's around about 5 inches wide, so you can get an idea of where that is. Very pretty design with those 2 leaping stags, just giving you a different finish, which is something that is new. We haven't sort of done anything like that before. So that's a set of 3 dies. So you've got your background piece and then your little dies there, and then this beautiful piece here. Then you've got Helen's Holly, which is a set of 6 dies altogether. So I think I can only count 5 on there, can I? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Perhaps there's a little one hidden, probably 4 little ones, or 3 sizes. Yeah, must be 3 sizes. So you've got the 2 largest, then slightly smaller, and then smaller again. Lots of detail on that. It's a very nice one there for the Helen's Holly. Then you've got the small bauble set. Now there's 11 dies in this set, so lots of different choice. 3 backgrounds, 3 of the bevels, or whatever we called it. A bauble crown, you reckon? A crown? Okay, yeah, that looks a bit like a crown, doesn't it? Okay, with, again, the same sort of theme with the matching deers and the snowflakes and everything. So again, lovely little selection there. And finally, you've got the Leaping Stag Circle. Very beautiful with all of the leaping stags. So yeah, very beautiful set. So 6 dies in all for that one, which, again, much bigger set, that one. I haven't got the sizes on them. Didn't realise I haven't got the sizes on them. But yeah, very limited stock, I'm afraid. But nevertheless, they are available over on the website, either individually or as a set. And that is your Leaping Stag collection. So Leaping Stag Circle, small baubles, Helen's Holly, Leaping Stag Band, the stitched poinsettias, Sam's Baubles, and the Leaping Stag Square. So lots and lots to choose from. So all very, very beautiful. We also had introduced some of the new colours, the Christmas colours, which unfortunately I don't have at the moment. But we've gone with the Burgundy to show you the card. Really simple card, and nice for something a bit different today. A lot of the elements that are in those dies you can be using, so it goes really nicely with all of them. So I'm taking a piece of A4 cards, and I've also got a scrap of some beautiful card. This is one of my favourites. This is Die Cuts with a View. So quite an old one. Cranberry Christmas it was called, but yeah, I thought that goes in really well with what I wanted to do. And then I've got also a scrap, just an old piece there that I was going to chuck away basically, but I saved it, and that's from the vintage gold collection, just for some of the card as well. And then to finish it off, I'm just going to put a poinsettia on the front, but you could put all sorts on the front there. So without further ado, let us just bring in my die cutter, paper trimmer. So I'm using the one that I use such a lot because I do find it so helpful. Suddenly thought that I didn't have the instructions there, but all is well. And I liked the fact that I can use this as a scorer as well as a cutter. So that's why I'm using this one. But of course, if you have a scoring board or something else like that, you could equally use that just as easily, just as well. So you can actually make 2 cards out of this piece, but I'm going to cut my first piece at 4 inches. And yes, I'm doing it in inches, frightening in itself. So 4 inches along that short half, so more or less cutting that in half, more or less, and turning that round. And then I'm going to go to the 11.5 mark, which is beyond here, 11.5 mark here. So 11.5 there. So just a tiny sliver that we're chopping off and throwing away. So then I'm going to move my cutter out of the way, and I think I'm going to have to bring it in a little bit closer so that you can see, what I'm trying to achieve with this. So I've got my scorer. So this on here is my scoring bit, but as I said, you could do this on an ordinary scoreboard which has all of the inches and everything in, or alternatively you could always measure it and then just do along with your ruler and a score tool, but I find this is the easiest way for me. So I'm going to go along the long edge, and I am going to start off with my first score line at 1 3/4. So I'm taking this piece here to the 1 3/4 line, and I'm going to give that a score. Then I'm going to move it along to the 3 3/4. And we'll have to hold that for a second. Okay, sorry. And then we're going to go along to the 5 3/4. So just moving this edge here to the 5 3/4. Then we're moving along to the 7 3/4. So this piece here to the 7 3/4. And then finally to the 9 3/4. Okay, so just onto that. So at the moment you can see that there's score lines there, a total of 5 score lines on that piece. Now what we need to do now is we're making, I forgot to tell you what it was. This is a cracker card. So we've got to do a little bit more of scoring, and then it's away we go. So to start off with, we're going to take a diagonal line from the top of the first score line to the bottom of the 3rd score line. Okay, top of the first score line to the bottom of the 2nd. Now I'm going to put this into my, close that up, I'm going to put this into my trimmer in order to do that, but again you can do that in every which way you like. So in order to do that, I'm going to take my first score line and put that little point along this edge, and then I'm going to twist it around slightly so that the 3rd score line is on that line. So then we can find, got a nice straight line from top to bottom in order to score that. Okay, then I'm going to turn it round and I'm going to go from the top of the third line to the bottom of the first, giving us a cross. So let's just go from the bottom there, make sure that that one is at the top, close that down. And then if you can see what I mean, hopefully you can see that cross there, crossing panel. And then we're going to do exactly the same on this sort of panel here. So we're going to go from the top of the third score line to the bottom of the fifth. Like so. And then finally from the top of the fifth to the bottom of the third. And I know, let's get it right in a second, I know that our lovely June is going to look after you with getting these measurements together for you. So, because this card could be for any occasion, I'm making it into a sort of a Christmassy one, but only purely for the way that I'm actually decorating it. It could be made in any which way that you like. So now I'm going to take my bone folder and I'm going to make sure that all of the lines are burnished. So I'm just going to fold them up and burnish along all of these lines. I'm doing them all in the same way. So all like that. So we've got all of those lines burnished, and then I'm going to go on my diagonal lines. So I'm first of all going to come across here, and it's really important that you make sure that those are all really nice crisp lines. Then we're going to go across to this one like that, and then we're going to go across here, and then finally across there. Like so. So we've got all of our score lines are all mixed and matched and everything. Now we simply need to just encourage our card here to just fold in like so. And then the same on this one. So those two triangles fold in. And then you have got, you can then press down again. You've got a very small card, which would go into a 4x4, I think, almost. Yeah, just about, into a 4x4 envelope or a 5x5. Then when we open it up, we've got a cracker type of effect, and it will actually stand up like that as well. Now I'm going to do really simple decoration on it, but again, for any different for birthdays or anything like that, you could do more if you wish, but I'm just going to do very, very simple. So I'm going to pop that to one side for the moment. Now I'm going to bring in this time my guillotine, because I've got smaller sizes to work with, so that's okay. So I want to do for the side panels, and I'm going to do two pieces that are 1.5 inches by 3 3/4. So I'm going to take my 3 3/4 bit first, like that, and then I'm going to do one piece that's 3 and then do that in half. So I've then got two pieces which are 1.5 inches by 3 3/4. Okay, and then I'm going to take my bit of gold, and this piece is going in the center, and I'm going to do this at 2.5. I need to straighten off some edges first. Straighten off some edges. So 2.5 by 2.5. So just bringing that in. And again, you could do, of course, more layers if you wanted to, more mats and layers. But I find that this is probably quite okay. So bring back in my card. These two pieces are going to go here. Take some glue and pop a little bit of glue on there. I didn't check whether I'd got this going or not. Oh, You might be hot in Mallorca, Hazel, but blimey, it's so sticky in my craft room. It's, well, sticky in some ways, but not in others when I can't get the glue going, is it? Eh? Yeah, it is cheap to post, or even chap. Yeah, I like cards that have got like an impact to them, but that are cheap to post, because it is also, I mean, we make a lot of lovely cards, sort of, well, all the time, obviously, but some cards you feel are rather expensive to post. But this one, and then if you go for the not so expensive, they can look a little bit dull, which we don't want to do. It's going to go in the centre like that. Now, obviously, you could do all sorts here. I did think about putting the background papers that I've just used into the centre here, but I want to put just a very simple poinsettia in the centre, because I've gone with the theme of the poinsettias in the background here. Now, when you put this mat on, you must just make so that it looks all nice and professional like. Just try and make sure that the points of your mat are pointing towards the points on your square here. Okay, so then it just looks a nice finish. So when that's all closed up, just make sure it grabs. When that's all closed up, that's a nice little card, I think, anyway. But then when it opens, you've got a lot more going on. Now, if you wanted, you could start to decorate the triangles that you've got there. Now, these two here, they would be one square cut in half, but because it's just one big triangle, but these ones are little. So if you wanted to decorate it all, it would be a little bit fussy. And to be honest, when they're actually, when it's actually all closed down, and even when it's open, I don't know that it would be, I kind of thought, actually, I don't know if I want to do that. In terms of writing on it, if you turn it over and you cut yourself another piece of card, which is 2.5 inches square, maybe a white piece, that's where your sentiments and everything can go in the back there. Also gives it a little bit more sturdiness, although the card is pretty sturdy as it is. So I couldn't decide on my poinsettia, and then I decided that I would go with the Julie Hickey one, which I had last year, because I just love that centerpiece. So all I'm going to do is simply I cut out 2 of the backgrounds. I'm just going to, with my fingers, or we could do it with the bone folder, just curl up these little edges just a little bit, just so it gives it a little bit. But of course, I'm now making it into, by doing this, I'm now making it into more of a sort of I was going to say substantial, but that's not really it. But I'm getting, then I could put that in as an ordinary letter at that size. But if I start putting dimension on it, I might not so. However, I could leave it completely flat, obviously. So I'm just going to offset those so that the petals from the top layer sit between the petals of the bottom layer. Just give that a second or two to grab. And then this is the centerpiece, which I just love. And I'm just, so it's got the outer very thin petals here that have been just outline cut, and then these little sort of stamen type of things, which I just want to push up again very, very slightly, and then just ease it all up fractionally. Okay, so we've got an obvious bit here to be glued. I'm not going to glue all the very fine bits. I want them to be more dimensional. Whoops. And then I'm going to put that in the center of my poinsettia like that, just giving a beautiful, delicate poinsettia. And if you look at the pattern that's on here, sorry, don't know where the camera is today. If you look at that poinsettia on there, apart from the fact that I've got a double one, they've only got a single one, I think that that looks really lovely. And you can get white poinsettias. You could have done it in different colours, whatever. So then my beautiful poinsettia is just going to go into the centre there like that. So I'm just going to pop that in. And I could, what I probably would do, but I haven't got it ready, so I will do that at a later time. I might want to put a sentiment on, and I'm thinking to get one of my sentiments, the Christmas ones, which aren't with me in this room, but on a little strip like this. I think that would look quite nice down the bottom. So a really simple card, but with a lot of impact, I reckon. Let's just close it up whilst I actually put that into place, because as I'm going straight onto a shiny surface, not a mirrored surface, but it's still a shiny surface, want to give that a chance to actually stay stuck. And if you think about it, if I kept that all flat and I hadn't fiddled about with this plant, this poinsettia would be completely flat. But there is your, I was going to say first Christmas card, but it isn't first Christmas card, but just a really simple one that you could make. And that is your cracker card. You can see that it sits up there quite nicely. Okay, so that is your little card element today, but don't forget we've got the whole of the Leaping Stag collection. So I'll just bring that in again to show you the circles, Leaping Stag circle, small baubles, Helen's holly, Leaping Stag band, stitched poinsettia, Sam's baubles, and finally Leaping Stag square. So I will be back on Sunday at 11 o'clock, and it will be July already. So it will be July the 2nd, where we will be introducing our card kit for the month of July. And hopefully I will also be introducing something very exciting, which I've been mentioning quite a bit just recently. And it's, you'll be fine with the score lines. I just see that Nicola's saying she might come out cold sweat probably with all the score lines. I normally do, but I actually found them really easy. So go for it, Nicola, go for it. Yeah, I will be introducing something very exciting. It's a new idea that I've got, and I hope that you like it. But the main thing we'll be seeing will be the card kit for the month of July. It won't be a Christmas one, because I still feel a little bit, let's hold off till Christmas, but we can't with such lovely items. So some of them we have to show you, but otherwise, yeah, it will be a lovely one to show you this weekend. So I'm looking forward to showing you that 11 o'clock on Sunday, which is the 2nd of July. Okay. So until then, have a really good rest of the week. Thank you so much for joining me. Not quite sure who's here and who's not here, but I just wanted to say congratulations to Sam for her wedding vow renewal yesterday. Lovely photographs. I hope some of the people that are regulars might get to see those. So really, really lovely. And also just saying to not Nicola Leishman, but another Nicola. I'm sure she won't be watching, but just say I'm thinking of you, Nicola. Okay, so take care, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me, and see you soon. Bye.